Well, guys, I guess the trend of things sneaking in on a Friday night right under the buzzer of the weekend continues because the NRA just filed a writ for certiorari to the Supreme Court of the United States around magazine bans. Oh, guys, we've been waiting on this one for 10 years. We are going to walk into it right now. Everything will be linked in the description box below. I cannot wait to hear what you guys think. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on because every time that you do, you get to do bad things to a gun controller near you. It's amazing. All right. Let's get into this, guys. Make sure you take advantage of all those options. All right. I'm still under the weather. I'm going to do this as fast as I can and try not to lose my voice or anything for you, but this is something you guys need to know. Follow me at Braden LOA on X. This is something that I've really been waiting for a while, and I just got information from it. It got passed along to me, so I'm going to make sure I get it to you guys. All right, check this out. Supreme Court review sought an NRA-backed challenge to California's magazine ban. So, okay. NRA, I see you. Like, I've got this idea of the NRA like on a table, and they're just kind of like clear. They're like, this is a good way to do it. I would very much like to see the SCOTUS take up the Duncan case, the magazine bans. I'd be okay with that, and I'm going to show you why in a second because it has a bunch of different pieces to our Second Amendment fight: the AR bans, the mag bans, all of it. It rhymes with Schmeller. Yeah, but hold on a second. We're going to get into that in 1 second. Let me show you this. All right, let me zoom in a little so you guys can see. Today, a petition for certiorari. I'm still messed up. A petition for certiorari was filed asking the United States Supreme Court to hear Duncan v. Bonta. Now, we've covered this a long time. It's almost a decade in the making. Backed by the National Rifle Association and California Rifle and Pistol Association, challenging California's prohibition on magazines capable of holding over 10 rounds. And this is the linchpin. You get this thing to go away, you've got New York's SAFE Act, that's a problem. You've got California's, anywhere there's a magazine ban, you got a problem. And the way that they go about this is the way that it needs to be gone about. Watch this. Tens of millions of Americans lawfully own hundreds of millions of magazines that California bans, said Doug Hamlin, NRA Executive Vice President and CEO. The Supreme Court should take this case to vindicate the rights of Californians and reaffirm that the Second Amendment prohibits the government from banning common arms. Now, again, sorry, the common arms thing. That's something that we've been hitting on forever on this channel. It's one of the main arguments going forward with things like AR bans, with things like mag bans. Guys, the common use piece of the Heller decision is going to be weaponized effectively in these cases. It's just a matter of time. Now, the NRA has filed a petition of certiorari basically saying, hey, SCOTUS, I'm going to need you to take this up. And honestly, it's good to see the NRA in the fight again. I'm here for it. They aren't clear of all wrongdoing by any means, any way, shape, or form, but this is a really good step. More of this now. Back to the example of the clear. All right, let's get back into it. The lawsuit was filed before the possession ban took effect, alleging that it violates the Second Amendment, it does, and the Fifth Amendment's takings clause. Now, the takings clause is quite obvious. You're taking something. That's not cool. That's the clause. Easy. And then the other one is the Second Amendment. Now, the gun control regiment of the American population says that, it's because it's a ammunition feeding device. Therefore, it's not a gun, so it doesn't infringe on the Second Amendment to take the ammunition feeding devices. It only infringes on taking the Second Amendment away, which we do that anyway too, but in this case, we aren't. It's a stupid argument. It's a transparent argument, and hopefully the SCOTUS takes this up because the case has been percolating for 10 years. All right, check it out. After nearly a decade of litigation, in March of this year, the en banc Ninth Circuit upheld the ban in a 7-4 decision. The majority concluded the magazines are accessories rather than arms. That's what I was telling you about with the differentiation, and thus not covered by the Second Amendment, which is crap. As for the takings claim, the majority dismissed it based on a prior ruling of the en banc Ninth Circuit in this case, which held that there was no takings clause violation. Okay, that's kind of stupid. They're taking it from you. I mean, it's not hard. A plus B does equal C. The petition for certiorari emphasizes the need for the Supreme Court's review. It explains that the Ninth Circuit's ruling clearly contradicts the Supreme Court's Second Amendment precedent, which establishes that common arms, including magazines owned by tens of millions of Americans, cannot be banned. Again, that is the Heller decision. I'll show you in 1 second where they reference it. The petition further describes the confusion among lower courts on the Second Amendment issues, including whether magazines are arms and the need for the court to clarify and reinforce its precedents. Again, I'm trying. Guys, this is a big one. If the Supreme Court takes this up, it's just like AR bans. If they take up AR bans, it's all going to hinge on that common use argument. If that happens, you're effectively, can't guarantee this, but the odds are greater than they are less that you're going to see a positive ruling, because it really is that clean cut. I mean, honestly, yeah. It's kind of like when you get the ARs finally in front of SCOTUS. You know how Kavanaugh said that they need to percolate a little bit more and they expect to have a case up there in 2 to 3 years? It's the same principle, okay? Quote, after nearly a decade of litigation, 2 en banc decisions, and the prior remand from the Supreme Court, this case is more than ready for the court's review, said John Comerford, NRA ILA Executive Director. The people of California have endured long enough. It's time to restore their constitutional rights. Yes, they have. Yes, it is. But it's also bigger than just the constitutional rights of Californians. This is also going to go into other states and will be used as a template to attack other state gun control regimes. This is a big one, all right? Now let me actually get you to the document here. So as you can see, this is the Supreme Court of the United States. This is the Duncan case versus Rob Bonta, the petition of writ of certiorari for the United States Court of Appeals. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, actually, because that feedback was given to me to zoom in. There we go. Right there. So that's what I just showed you. But I want to read this first little part, the questions presented. I'm going to go ahead. This court held in District of Columbia v. Heller, see, that's where it was going to show up again, that states may not ban arms that our law-abiding citizens typically possess for lawful purposes. Okay, that first one right there, that's ARs, that's mags, that's anything. If the law-abiding citizens typically possess them, that means common use. That's a common use test, okay? If there are 24 million AR-15s in the United States, that would be common use. There are more AR-15s in the United States than there are Ford F-150s. That's pretty common use. Just saying. There's more magazines than there are AR-15 bans, or excuse me, AR-15s in the United States. Also, pretty good. This would be like, this would be equivalent of AR-15s being the number one F1 or more guns, or more AR-15s in the United States than F-150s, and therefore there's more tires in the United States that go on F-150s. That's the equivalent. It's like there's 4 to every one F-150. There's like 4 to 10 for each AR-15. Like it's not even on the same playing field. But that's why this is important, because all these little pieces are just slicing and cutting away from the gun control regime. That's the whole point. And it reiterated in New York State Rifle Pistol Association v. Bruin, the Bruin decision, that the Second Amendment protects the possession and use of weapons that are in common use at the time. Heller, Bruin, get wrecked. Let's get another one. How about we make this Heller, Bruin, Duncan? That'd be a great little trio right there. California nonetheless persists in banning feeding devices capable of holding more than 10 rounds of ammunition, even though tens of millions of law-abiding Americans have long lawfully owned hundreds of millions of these devices as integral components of legal firearms. That's the point. They are considered, integral components of the firearms. So I'm really struggling, guys. I'm sorry. That's the whole point. Now, this last piece, adding insult to injury, California's ban applies retrospectively, just like all their gun control bans do, requiring citizens to dispose themselves of lawfully acquired property without any compensation from the state. Boom, takings clause. What? Why is this hard? And I showed you earlier that the Ninth Circuit actually got one right on accident with the 1 in 30. But in this case, you have everything that you need right here to strike down AR bans nation and statewide. You have magazine bans nation statewide. We are coming to the final point in this ban push, and I cannot wait to walk through this more with you guys. But hey, I hope I did not struggle too hard in that delivery. Let me know if I landed that plane. Seeing some planes in the comments, and I will see you on the next one. Hopefully, when I am much better. I'm Braden. See you later.